Thanks to everyone who have subscribed. If you have not, please do. And thanks for coming out here. I really appreciate you. And SARS, where do we go from here? Because protest yesterday, after Buhari has said, I will not tolerate any form of protest. So it will not happen again. I will not allow protest. My dear, it happened yesterday. Nothing happened. When Femi Gbajubamila, Speaker of the House of Representatives, was on his convoy going home or wherever he was headed, and guess what? One of his aides just started shooting into the air, and guess what? Stray bullets, which has become a maniac in our society, a very terrible situation, went ahead and hit a vendor, a vendor operative who was just managing his life. He not thief, he not do anything, just they sell paper. That's all he does. A whole man. Country, there is nothing. And you know what? He said, you know what? I will not go and put myself in a position where I become a liability. What can I do? I can work with my hands, and goes out working. Guess what? The guy was killed yesterday. So let's get on to the news and get all the details. And SARS, where do we go from here? Where? The comments and the opinion of End SARS protest, all that it was for various premises with regards to what is going on in the country. We wanted good governance. That was part of it, the agitation, end of police brutality, citizens' rights, outlaw outfits, and, underlining remote control of the government, inhuman government status, and oppressive inclination from political elites who have hijacked the hard-won democracy to live in their comfort zone of arrogance, oppression, condemning and denying the masses the due allocation necessary to them. Mass majority of low estate of poverty, hunger, disease, to mention but a few. Olatunji Dare captured the title and the sociology contest of the politics of our day, and has said, with this End SARS, where do we go from here? Where do we go from here? Where do we really go from here? A lot of wickedness and atrocity. Do you know, after the whole End SARS, the whole protest, right now, there are still some people being cracked down by police in some states. Some people are in police custody now. You only heard of Oromosele because, it was one of those whose voice were loud, whose parents and, Lagos proximity, and, there is always what we call the exception. So you heard of him. There are others. Even yesterday, they were still adopted by police for questioning, being held. People have been held down for the past 2 weeks, treated, maltreated, oppressed. So where do we really go from here? I tell you what, we move. But the truth of the matter is the Nigerian youth made it clear in the statement and, the credible words we say, no bias at all, social, political, transformation. The metrics of things have to change. The idea of ethnicity, religiosity that have continuously put the masses in systematic corruption, decadence, and crippling the economy, poverty over 80%. The rich people in our community today are the politicians. Insecurity, escalation, violence, crime, mass killing, poor development in education, human rights, to mention but a few. Roads, conditions of our road, terrible, no electricity, 60 years. The despondent situation of the economy, dark nation, backward, once a giant, now a slave. No technological drive. Just imagine, Nigerians, let me tell you something. I gave this illustration in one of our videos, and if you've been following us, you'd have heard it. Imagine, okay, let's say for instance, I'm 30 years old, yes? My grandmother says she's, let's say for argument's sake, she's 80 years old, or say 70, okay? My grandmother, then my great-grandmother say 85. So I have a mother, and I have a grandmother, and I have a great-grandmother. My great-grandmother is the one ruling Nigeria. My great-grandmother was born in the early let's say for instance, she was born in 1902. She's the one ruling Nigeria in 2021. I've moved though. I'm in 2021. I'm not in 2020. I've moved. I've already said Happy New Year. Do you get what I'm saying? So my great grandmother is telling me how life should be today. When other nations of the world are in 2028, 2030, moving. In fact, they are not running, they are flying. We have not. We are still sitting down. We have not started crawling. How much more standing up to even make a gesture of movement? That's where Nigeria is. You get the true picture. The whole cry for EndSARS was that we end police brutality and we cry for a reform in our society so that Nigeria can be better. At least for once in 60 years, we can have steady power supply. But guess what? The government of Nigeria hijacked the whole process and said, no, youth, where go you? Go nowhere. It's like the case of Pharaoh who said, no, God's children can never go. They have to remain in bondage. That's what they are doing. So my great-grandmother is the one ruling Nigeria and telling Nigeria what to do. My great-grandmother. But you know what, guys? Enough is enough. We rise. We rise and we speak up our voices. We speak up and we tell them, whether they like it or not, 2023 is a reality. And everyone and anyone who has continuously and constantly oppressed Nigerians is leaving that position, whether they like it or not. They are leaving. And we are making decisive and impactful impact to transform our economy and our state and our situation. It's enough. We cannot allow injustice to continue. Oppression, insecurity, don't go there. Don't go there. Like the saying, if you follow us, well, we presented the news where we said Buhari will be the next to be kidnapped, because right now the bandits have left. They've kidnapped the people. They've stepped up. They are not kidnapping security operative. If you have not known, the other day they kidnapped 9 police officers. Recently, again, yesterday, they kidnapped another 7 in Niger State. With the 9 that were kidnapped, people got to know because one called his wife and said, sell the plot of land we have and use the money to send the money down. My captors are asking for a ransom. That was how we got to know. The military were trying to hide it. We had another case of 12 military operatives who were being sent to one of these northern states, also kidnapped. So Buhari will be the next. But it should be Buhari. It should not even be Senate president. It should be Buhari, so that they can really understand. All of them, their cabinet, they should start kidnapping them one after the other. By the time bandits start descending on them and their families, we will understand if really they will stand up to the security situation of the country. Youth, don't let your heart be faint or be dismayed. We will move, and we'll move away from oppression. It's a reality. Don't worry. Leave us a comment, like us, share, subscribe. God bless you. Bye for now.